We're back at the house where the Cowboys were caught red-handed by myself in the bathroom and decided to do the electrics. So this is my mother-in-law's house. If you haven't seen the previous video, they had a bathroom fitted, which is this here. And while they were here, they decided to start doing electrics. So they put a false ceiling in, a new extractor, new lights. But while they were doing it, I turned up because they knocked the power off. They messed around with the wiring. So I turned up, asked them what they were doing while they were doing it. And they said, no, they want to fix their mistake and do it. So this is the picture on the screen of the mess I found and all this sort of stuff. They're not sparks. So after it was all done and said and gone, I asked my mother-in-law to try and get a certificate. They said they don't normally issue certificates because these are low voltage lights and you don't need a certificate for low voltage lights. Did you know that? You got a gold card. Do you issue certificates for adding extra cable to a circuit and it should be tested? It should have an RCD. But if it's low voltage, do you not have to issue certificates if you mess with the mains wiring?
No, it's fine. It's not a special occasion.
Right. Oh, no, it is a special occasion. That's right. So they're not low voltage lights. They're just LEDs, but they're wired into mains.
Oh no, they're like the TikTok specials. They're just wireless.
Yeah.
They are.
Oh, look. There you go. So this is the finish. The extractor fan we're going to jump up the loft to have a look. But I know full well here there is a big abundance of connector blocks. Where the cables have not been secured, they're in connector blocks, they're not. You alright, you got it?
These are like nail puller offers, aren't they?
Yeah. And there you go. Every single one. Now, they are class 2 fittings, but that's 240 volts there to this. It's not.
I think they are meant to be 12 volt.
No, they are 240.
How tiny that is. They look like they're meant to be 12 volt.
LED 240.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pull the pull cord down. They've extended a new cable in for the mirror, so we're going to pull this off. We're going to test it all. We're going to fix it all. We're going to put an RCD on the circuit today because I don't have time to chuck a brand new board in, but there's no RCD coverage. It's an old rewirable fuse board. This is all run off. I'm in the process of reporting them at the moment. I had to try and find out who to go to and where to speak to and all this sort of stuff. But I've asked my mother-in-law for them to get certificates. They said they will issue them. So I'm going to utilise that as findings because it's just going to be a false report. There'll be no readings that are accurate, and if they do give a certificate that is been tested here, well, there's not a lot to put on it because there's a lot of stuff missing that should be on it, if you know what I mean. So we will see, but that's in the process, so I'll keep you updated with this. But we're going to jump up. We're going to jump up now and show you some more stuff that we find, and we'll run the tester across stuff and see if there is actually an earth on anything as well, yeah? So this adds to it, doesn't it? I've literally just come up the loft hatch. I've just said to Ad, can you just pull the front off the extractor fan? Because there's all the ducting. Here's the old fan that they ripped out, which is there. There's more of the ducting. There's the ducting that actually goes outside. And my mother-in-law was complaining that the extractor fan makes a funny noise sometimes when she's in it. And that'll be why. Because it's pushed uneven to the hole. This cable's jumped on top of it. It's not ducted out. So it's just more ammo in it. It's more stuff for you need to go to them and go, listen, you either give her all her money back or you're going to prison. Probably not that far. But, yep, terrible. And here we go. Here's the connections that I knew we would all find. Bare and open. I can't wait for Adam to take this down so I can say hello to him. Also, while Adam's just doing that, no insulation has been put down. These are all now cold spots that will create damp and mould will either up in the loft or down below, all pushed to the sides. Like I say, I didn't move any of this yet. You've got a big gaping hole where they've taken stuff out that leads into the airing cupboard. The lift goes on, and this lamp has been knocked over. I'm annoyed with that.
You can't take it out.
Why?
There's silicone bits in the ceiling.
Of course they have. You have to cut the silicone, mate. It's got to be dropped down. So because they have done such a great job fitting it, and the screws were, how long were they? 19 inches long? That's good. They're siliconed all in and around. Right, so we've got something out that they didn't have, and it's called a tester.
They had a tester.
Yeah, they had
the
screwdriver. No, they had worse. It was a screwdriver that you put your finger on the end of it. Yeah. We've just tried to take the mirror off. And it's next to electric mirror, so obviously it needs to be accessible because there's electrical connections behind that needs replacing or testing, all this sort of stuff. What have they done, mate?
Siliconed it off.
They've siliconed the mirror to the wall, so we physically can't take it off. You can see down here,
think they've used CT1 because that is not coming
That
up.
is absolute rock hard. But we've got a pad saw, which is here. I'm going to go and cut the hole bigger because they've siliconed that on as well, and I can't get it to pull the cables out of the way. And then now I'm going to cut a hole here above where these connections go in, so then grab them. These lights themselves don't need an earth because they're class 2. And technically you don't need an earth within the cable to be continuous around to run to them, because it's not supplying anything. But I always like doing it, you've always done the same. So we're going to be disconnecting all these, we put some Wagos on it, stripping it back, putting the earth on it, and then putting some Wago boxes on, which are these. I've never seen these Maker lights before, I don't know where they're from.
Looks like they're just from a bathroom company.
Yeah.
Like kitchen lights.
Doesn't say that there's an IP rating on these at all, but the height of the ceiling is probably just over, so we're out of zonings there. So yeah, let's jump back up in the There's no reason there was that many cables. Especially in the way. See how difficult was that just to rectify? Oh no, I think that goes back to the mess that they've got under the floor. Never mind. Okay, right, next thing. What the? Right, let's not even get into that right now. Next thing is this. So this leads down, to my knowledge, to the abundance of connector blocks. Or if I look back at my previous video, this might be the mess that was hanging in the ceiling. They've decided to stuff it in the loft, so bear with me. Okay, so looking at that connector block there, and looking at the picture that I took, I'll put this on the screen now so it looks a bit better, that I took before. It's exactly the same connector block, so that's the one that I was hating for them to be sticking between the new ceiling and the old ceiling, and then the hole knocked in the ceiling there is the same hole that's knocked there. So at least we can join that and make that better. I can bring the tester up now and double check if there's an earth on that. So Ad, yeah. You just pass me the mega up please, dude. Right, we do have an earth. I've tested it through. It's all right, it's school holidays and I brought my daughter with me today, so she just tried to climb up the ladder at the same time. We're gonna Wago all that up, box it all up properly. As it stands, that's not that bad. It's just, it shouldn't be singles exposed to start with. Connector blocks are allowed. It's sleeved to what it should be if it's a switch live cable, so that's not the end of the world. It's just not the best practice the way it's been done. I'm going to go and get some ducting, bring that down, pull all the cables out of the way. We can get cable tie down in there and get that working as well, and then jump down to see how Adam's getting on.
The steps down to there.
No.
Why?
Just hang on a second, Poppet. You can go on the bottom step, okay? Okay, go on then. What Adam's doing, he's stripped back, you can see here, we've got a continuous loop for the earth now. We've got some proper good connectors in for the, with the Wagos in. We're gonna put my connector blocks, but we've got these ones, but the problem, because it's a drop ceiling, these fixings, these boxes don't fit through here. So we're gonna take this back off. They do slimline boxes that can have the lighting, the cables pass through. So instead of all going in the same end like this, they pass through and they're smaller and they'll fit up here. I'm going to jump up, grab one of these and do the connections up properly, which I'll show you what I'm going to do. Open the loft, get this screwed to a joist, get it secure, get it maintenance free, give it another test, and then we're going to jump down and try and integrate an aftermarket an RCD onto the fuse board up front, so it at least covers all this sort of stuff that's within special location, which is metal. It is a class 2, yes it is. I don't know if the mirror is a class 2 because I physically can't remove it from the wall to double check it because it's glued. I've had enough, I've had enough. I'm going to retire and I'll become a bathroom fitter because apparently you can just do everything like that. Yeah, sound. Get that out, all slots in nice and neat to a maintenance-free joint. I'm going to stick a blue wherever I put it. And now I can't go and do all that and leave that there. So now I'm going to fix that. Just prove I did do it. There's the other joint. Before I jump down to Adam, I'm just going to put some loft insulation back down as and where it should live on this side and this side where the guy tore it all up. definitely should be wearing a mask, if I'm being completely honest. I'm going to leave that a bit up because we've got to go and get some more ducting. Back to the wholesalers. We've been and picked up a few things. I've dropped off my daughter and I've also dropped off Adam because we're back forward. I don't want to waste it. Anyway, we've got the Wago boxes up, so they're enclosed, up out the way, which means now we've got no single insulation exposed. If I was to do an EICR specifically on this, we would be okay. Obviously need an RCD, but all the boxes are in around. I'm just going to push them up. We've got some ducting, so the next thing is Adam's just took off the grill that goes on the outside. I'm going to replace the ducting, pull it all the way up and through, reattach that, cable tie that in place. So now the extractor's being used. Just realised I've got stuff in a beard. The ducting will go out rather than make the whole loft mouldy and rot it and possibly the house fall down. Another thing on the list, going straight to jail. So as I've tried to pull the ducting out, because obviously they've cut it down, which potentially it could have reached previously, but I presume that it's so frail like it is now for me, I've just tried to pull it and it's just snapped. Like, oh, this is going to be really fun taking downstairs. Give me that. Sweet. To be fair, I'm pretty sure the mother-in-law just said that I can just actually wanted to keep that up here, so that's good then. I decided against lying all the way down on this. I've tucked enough down there, I'll be able to grab it from the outside. But for now, this can poke in. And as well, most electricians I know that will fit extractor fans will never fit these surface ones. Especially if you've got really good loft space up here and a nice piece of wood to screw to. You put a big 6-inch inline fan that's tucked it down to 4-inch, which has got fantastic suction compared to these things. These things are ass, they don't do anything. So it's better than nothing, but at the same point, if you're going to do a job and you're a spark, you know good products, what's going to be effective in different people's houses and how to fit them. This is not one of them. Okay, the ducting is in, the loft insulation is back down. Let's jump down, I'll do the grill off, and then I wanted to stick a tester across the mirror to see if it's earthed or not. So we'll see. I had a bit of a thought. So we're at the board. As we said last video, there's no RCD protection whatsoever. Only on the shower that's been installed, I don't know, probably 20 years ago. Look at the state of the RCD. Rewirable fuse board. So we've got no MCBs. Our overcurrent protection is, I can't even remember the style. It's the clicky button 5 amp. What it says on the side, BS871 Part 1 PT1 240. Anyway, yeah, ain't gonna do a lot. Let's be honest. So I bought 2 RCDs to put in here. I'm about to go on my jollies. I'm about to go on holiday for a week, but I've already come back by the time this video comes out. I'm going to give them a week to produce a certificate to see, and I know some people out there will have turned around and said, any work that's completed, if this is with your governing body, so if you were NIC or you would NAPE it, if anyone has any queries or questions about the work that's been installed, to my knowledge, the electrician is given a chance to go back and correct and fix the work that he's done poorly or incorrectly, that sort of stuff. They're obviously not with the governing body, they're not electricians. But would they have been given the chance to come back for free to fix it? No, they wouldn't be given the chance by any of us here. Would have said, no, you're not coming back with the state of this. We've got all this footage, you've got these pictures, the documentation against you. You've not done it. I'm waiting for this certificate to turn up so we can either pull it apart and have more evidence, or we're just going to be strung along and the certificate never appear. But when I come back from holiday, we're going to change all this and put a new fuse board in, RCBO board, surge protection, test the whole house, get it all back up to standard. But we're going to give them the chance to see if they are going to come out. Whether or not, if they try and test it, they realise there's no RCD, whether they're going to put one in themselves, I don't know. I say, I'm going to be going away and I'm going to speak to mother-in-law about what to do and what not to do. And hopefully we can get some sort of thing resolved and then on to the next step of when they get reported. So we shall see what happens. Stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching. There'll be more. There's probably many more videos yet to come on this, but I'll keep you all in the loop. Love you, bye.